There's so many terrible muscle building mistakes that will keep you looking like a toothpick. In this video, I'm gonna give you 10 of the worst ones that I myself have made. Have you ever heard someone say, I would start lifting, but I don't want to end up looking like Arnold? Well, if you've been going to the gym for some time now and aren't seeing the results that you want, maybe you realize how silly that phrase is. Building muscle can be a very slow and difficult process, and there's actually way more that you can mess up than most people realize. I've been working out for about 8 years now, have my bachelor's degree in exercise science, and am a certified exercise physiologist, so I've learned what works and what doesn't, and I want to share that with you so that you don't have to go through the same struggles that I went through. Ego lifting. Ooh, this is a bad one. When I first started working out, I was just determined to be one of the big bros. I wanted to fit in with the big dudes and lift the heavy weight. For some reason, I felt like my testosterone got really triggered. I even tried to start fighting people in the parking lot. That last part is a joke. Or is it? I had my fair share of moments where I would ego lift, and thankfully I never hurt myself, but that is one of the biggest problems and the biggest killers of gains and problems with ego lifting is, first of all, you can hurt yourself very badly, might I add, and that will put you out of the gym for maybe weeks, maybe months, and it really could affect you for the rest of your life if you injure yourself bad enough. So focus on controlling the movement. If you can't get the proper form when you're doing a certain weight, you need to lower the weight. You just do. I'm sorry. I know you want to look cool in front of your pals, but it's pretty much useless to do an exercise if you're doing it incorrectly because you're not getting the proper tension, you're not working the proper muscles, you're just not doing anything properly, basically. Leave your ego at the door, lift with proper form, and you will see at least 3 times the amount of gains than you would have seen if you would have continued to ego lift with bad form. Not eating enough protein. Protein is the building blocks of muscle. You need at least 1 gram per pound of body weight. There's a lot of different suggestions out there, but I've found that with myself and with my clients, 1 gram per pound of body weight works best. A lot of people try to tell me,
no, I am getting enough protein in.
And then I ask them, have you ever tracked the amount of grams you're getting? Have you ever tracked your protein before? They answer no. And I'm like, I am 95% sure. Actually, I am 99% sure that you are not getting enough protein in if you've never tracked it before, because most Americans do not get the proper amount of protein in order to build muscle. A typical American diet is not very healthy. We all know this, right? This is not news. If you've never tracked it at all, if you have no calorie tracking apps, then you need to, at least for 1 day, track what you typically eat in a day. If you don't eat the same thing every day, it's fine. Just track what you're eating and see how many grams of protein you get without paying any mind to it, just to get an idea of where you're at, because from there you can adjust and try to get more meats, eggs. If you're vegan, you can get tofu, you can do soy, protein powder, as I just showed. There's many different calorie tracking apps out there. But speaking of calories, let's talk about calories real fast. Do you know how many times fellas and some ladies have talked to me and they're like,
Mama Swole, I'm in a caloric surplus.
Which, if you don't know what that is, it's when you're eating more calories than you're burning off.
And I just can't seem to gain weight.
Because that is how you're gonna gain weight, by being in a caloric surplus, which is also how you're gonna gain muscle. And I'm like, really? How many calories are you eating every day? And they're like,
4,000. I'm eating 4,000 calories every day, can't gain weight, I'm bulking, and at the end of the day, I'm sick to my stomach. I'm eating so much food and I'm not seeing results.
And I'm like, let me break something to you. If you're not gaining weight, then you're not in a caloric surplus. If you want to put on muscle, you want to bulk, and you want to be in a caloric surplus, then you need to track not only how many calories you're getting every day and every week, but also your body weight, if not daily, at least weekly. And if you're not gaining weight, then you're not eating enough. It's simple as that. You need to eat more. I know you're sick to your stomach, you're sick of eating all the Pop-Tarts and Chipotle, and you just can't handle anymore, but you have to if you want to gain some muscle. The bottom line is, if you're not gaining weight, you're not in a caloric surplus. You're in maintenance. And if you're losing weight, which is even worse, then you're in a caloric deficit, and you definitely need to eat more. You have to be consistent with all of these things, which, speaking of consistency, if you're not being consistent with working out, eating properly, and getting enough sleep, which we'll get into in a second, I don't want to hear how you're not making gains. Stop right there. I don't want to hear it. If you only go to the gym a couple times a week for 1 week out of an entire month and you expect to see results, I got some bad news for you. You're not gonna see any. Sure, when you first start working out, you can see the newbie gains pretty quickly, and you don't have to do nearly as much as you will have to do after you've been working out for a few months, if not a few years. But if you really think going to the gym just a few times a month is going to yield you muscles, it's not. Unless you're some genetic freak, and in which case I'm very jealous, and please trade me genetics. And that's the thing, once you get over that first barrier of creating the schedule and creating that consistency, you actually might start to like it. I know a lot of people at first think that the gym is this daunting daunting task. It's actually such a privilege and such a blessing. If you are not prioritizing your sleep, you're making a huge mistake, my friend. And this may be one of the biggest things that is holding you back from making gains, because sleep is so crucial to building muscle. There are so many muscle building hormones that get released when you sleep, and also hormones that are very important when it comes to fat loss. So you're doing yourself a huge disservice if you are not getting at least 8 hours of sleep every night. Not enough frequency. If you're only going to the gym once or twice a week and you're shocked that you're not seeing gains, you really shouldn't be shocked, because that is simply not enough time. Sure, if you're a beginner, you've never gone to the gym in your life and you're just getting started, then 1 to 2 times, well, 1 time is kind of questionable, but 2 times can be beneficial, and it's better than nothing. And it's good to just get your foot in the door, start to feel a little bit more comfortable in the gym, and just get used to that environment. But if you've been lifting for a few months now, it's time to increase the amount of days that you're working out. I've found what works best for me is a 4 to 5 day split. I know some people think that you need to be working out every day, which conversely is actually detrimental, because the opposite of too little frequency is too much frequency. If you're going to the gym every single day and you're not giving your body time to rest and recover, that can also hinder your growth and keep you small forever. It'll keep you looking like a little French fry. The best amount of frequency really depends on the person. Some people that might be 6 days a week, some people that might be 4 days a week. It really just depends. So just trial and error. Try out different amounts. If you feel like you want to change something up, try a different amount of days. Just try out different programs. But that will lead me to my next point. If you're constantly switching up your workouts and you're not following a consistent program for at least 8 weeks, you are doing yourself a huge disservice, my friend. And you are not going to see results if you're just following these fancy schmancy Instagram workouts that just look cool but don't actually have any purpose. You're in for a rough time, and you're in for a telephone pole physique, because you're not going to grow that way. How are you supposed to know if you're progressing with a certain workout if you don't even do that certain workout consistently? It all leads back to consistency. Also, if you need some workout programs, MamaSwole.com, we got you the hookup. If you're talking to yourself negatively, like, I can't do this, I don't feel like it, I'm so lazy, it's going to make this whole journey and this whole process so much more difficult. You can literally start with your own brain just by saying, I can do this. I am in fact not a lazy person. I'm the type of person that gets what they want. I'm the type of person that achieves my goals. Just by changing your self-talk, you can change so much. I believe it really all starts from within. The more you talk to yourself like you're your own best friend, like, I got this, I can do this. Sure, I'm not feeling that motivated right now, but I am disciplined. You will be able to gain muscle so much faster, simply from the simple fact that you just believed in yourself and you stayed positive. Your actions will follow your thoughts. So make sure your brain is a very positive and inspiring place. You're training like a yeah, I said it. You're training like a little shit all the time in public gyms. People are barely putting an effort into their workouts. They are lifting as if they had 2 marshmallows on the bar. And I'm not saying that's because it's not that much weight. I'm saying because it's very clear that they are not struggling. It is way too easy. Muscle growth is an evolutionary mechanism. Your body will always want to adapt to its environment. So if you are putting it in an environment that is not that strenuous, your body's gonna be like, we don't need to grow. We don't need to adapt to this. We have done this before. This feels pretty simple and pretty familiar, so we'll just chill. We'll just stay small forever. Yeah, you're gonna keep yourself small forever if you keep training like that. There's so many ways where you can add what is called progressive overload. Progressive overload is a principle that in order to grow more, you have to do more. I'll give you an example. If you've been doing curls with 10-pound dumbbells for 3 months straight and it doesn't feel like a struggle anymore, it is time to increase the weight by at least 5 pounds. Other ways you can make it more difficult is increasing the reps, increasing the sets, and increasing the intensity. So make sure you're training not only smart, but also hard. Doing high reps too often. Now, if you're doing 50 plus reps, okay, that's pushing it. I don't know anyone that's doing 50 plus reps. And if you are, I just want to talk, because what's going on? Doing more than 20 reps every time you work out and expecting to see a huge amount of muscle gain, that may work for some people, but a lot of people, that's actually really taxing on your body. Instead of you going to muscular failure, you might instead just be going to failure with your overall system, like your cardiovascular system, because doing higher reps can be more endurance. It can involve more of the cardiovascular system. You won't give your muscles that chance to go to true failure. So yes, there's a certain time and place for high reps, and I'm not saying that high reps won't build muscle at all, but ideally, in my professional opinion, it's not the best to do them all the time, and that's all you ever do. I have always found the best amount of progress mixing the high reps with the low reps. Once again, this is all based on personal preference, but if you see that the high reps aren't giving you as much muscle growth as you would like, try out different rep ranges. Now that you know the mistakes that you could be making, what are some gym secrets that I have to share with you to help you out along your journey? Well, you can go watch this video to find out my top gym secrets that will help you see massive gains, and subscribe to join the Swole Squad.